Hey there, folks. What's happening? What you up to? Welcome to another episode of the Crash Bang Boom podcast. Cheshire Agusta is my guest today, who's the drummer of Philly punk jazz instrumental trio Stinking Lizaveta. Shout out to Fyodor Dostoevsky. Anyways, they're a band that I've been seeing throughout the last 20-some-odd years, and a band whose members always had this mythical sort of rock and roll nomad-esque persona in my mind, complete with a band van with a group of pit bull security guards. So it was cool to talk about some of the gigs and tours over the years, as well as the origins of the band. A couple of notes: you will hear some rumble and bass in the background for certain sections of the interview, which was the band warming up, kicking off their set at Bar Matchless in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, where we did the interview in their little courtyard there as it started to rain on us. And there are at times some esoteric references to people, which sometimes happens when you're conversing with someone and realize you know a lot of the same people and sort of forget that the record button is engaged. In any case, quarter century of rocking and keeping the music happening. You'd be hard-pressed to find someone that looks like they're enjoying drumming more than Cheshire live. So here we go. Stinking Lizaveta, Cheshire Augusta. Crash, bang, boom!
Crowds go mad with joy.
Thanks so much for sitting down with me. I know it was a last-minute thing. I'm psyched to see y'all tonight. I realize I've been seeing your band, I don't even know how long, but I think it might be 20 to 22 years now.
Wow. Yeah, so we were... Oh, it's really nice to see you, Jody, by the way. Thanks for thanks for being here. Yeah, I feel like 95, 97 was this show that you were talking about.
Yeah, with Critters Buggin' at Tipitina's in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I went to go see y'all because I'd actually seen y'all one time before, not knowing anything about Critters Buggin', and then I saw Critters Buggin', and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How did y'all end up on that tour? And are we thinking that was like 96, 97?
Something like this. Yeah, so our friend Bernard from Lafayette, Louisiana.
I know Bernard Pierce.
Yeah, Bernard
That's
Pierce.
amazing.
Who,
This is the
by
second
way,
time Bernard has come up. I ran into somebody in a cab late at night, and Lafayette came up, and we started talking about Bernard Pierce, and this dude knew Bernard Pierce. So
That's crazy.
Here it is again, some strange synchronistic moment. Here we are talking about Bernard Pierce.
Well, he's now living in Alexi's house.
Oh,
so he's
come
up in
on.
Philadelphia.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, come on.
He really is everywhere. He's ubiquitous.
He truly is. Mr. Omnipresent. God damn.
And he's a national treasure, of course.
Wow. That is amazing.
Well, Bernard had started booking larger tours by then, but the way I met Bernard was I was booking us these long 3-month tours across the bottom of the country, and then we'd sort of fool around in the top of the country. By the time we were ready to come home, we could do all the same clubs back around the bottom again, or we'd go across the top. And I made tons of cold calls. It was in the days where, you made a press package and you sent it to people and you called them.
Snail mailed it and called
them.
them.
Hey, did you get it? Did you get a chance to listen to it? Blah, 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 blah. We really want looking for a date, I know you don't know who we are, but can you give us a show anyway? Now, Tracy and Bernard were the only people who ever called me back.
Really?
On one of those cold approaches.
That's amazing.
Yeah. The only people in I don't know what I would do that five or so years before a booking agent noticed us and hooked us up. So we became friends, and then he started to book these larger tours and stuck us on that tour with Critters Buggin'.
Wow. And then flash forward, now he's living with the bass player.
Yeah. Recent thing, he came up to work on a ship, but they delayed his employment for a year. But he decided he'd come up to Philly anyway and hang out. So
bizarre.
Yeah.
So let's rewind a little bit. How did this band? How did it start? How'd you end up with the Papadopoulos Brothers?
Oh my!
Pop and drop it like it's Papadopoulos Brothers. That's what I've been trying to work that into. Drop it like it's Papadopoulos. There it is. That's what I was trying to say.
That's pretty good.
How did y'all become a band in the first place?
Yeah. Well, I was playing in a band we all lived in West Philly, and I guess Yanni moved up to there to play with a band called EDO.
Okay.
And I was playing with a band called the National Wrecking Company at that time. And I think he saw me, and he's like, "You're the craziest thing in your band, and I'm the craziest thing in my band, so we should probably be in a band."
That makes perfect sense.
And so we cut a demo tape, and it was him and me, and he played bass and guitar, like overdubbed. Made a little cassette tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was almost over, the cassette tape thing, but we did it anyway.
Yeah. It's making a resurgence, by the way.
Of course,
It's just everything's cyclical
and
these days.
Yeah. And all the fashions that were popular when your mom was anyway. But yeah, and we couldn't find anybody in Philly who wanted to play bass for us.
Yeah.
So Yanni reached out and did an older brother maneuver on Alexi.
Yeah.
And made him come and play bass for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Alexi was more interested in sort of jazz and upright.
Right.
But we found a compromise in the basement of a friend's house, in that crazy Morelli thing.
Yeah.
You know, the weird like fretboard on a stick, which is the upright electric bass he plays.
Yeah, it is strange.
A plank with a headstock, I don't know,
Right.
and really heavy strings.
Unbelievable.
Which made me get a really big kick drum. It's like, that's a really big bottom. I got to keep up with that.
Absolutely. That sealed the deal. That's amazing. Now, when I was seeing y'all, I guess in the 90s as well, when you were first starting out, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but you had a three pit bulls or 2 pit bulls that traveled around in the van with y'all.
Right. So when we were first going out, Wendy, Alexi's wife, and Alexi had a dog apiece.
Okay.
And they were pit labs from the same litter. They had to come with us. And Wendy was, first of all, Wendy's the amazing one. Yeah. She did 1 3-month tour with us while she was 5 months pregnant with their child.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's serious.
And the 2 dogs in the van. We got used to
the
this.
Full family.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Wow.
And then Yanni and I were basically adopted by a beautiful golden brown brindle pit.
Okay.
And then Shushu started to come with us.
Okay.
So we had these 2 black dogs they were a pit lab mix, and then Shushu, this gorgeous brindle. She was like the Hollywood dog.
Yeah.
And then Wendy started to stay home because she had the baby.
Right.
And a dog wandered into my life.
Yeah.
Davis. And then it was the 3 of those. So it was a dog apiece. And dogs are great because, first of all, we never got broke into.
Right.
3 pit bulls in the back.
Yeah, nobody's fucking around with that.
Nobody's going to fuck around with that.
That's amazing. Can you imagine they steal the van and there's still
and
3
they're
pit bulls that are like, we got away with it, we have the equipment, and then you're getting attacked by...
Yeah, that would be justice.
Absolutely it would.
Pit bull justice.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so what's awesome about dogs, besides you don't get broke into, is they don't care how well you play the drums that night.
Yeah.
Or any
They're
night.
not going to give
on
you
the
negative
tour,
feedback.
Not going to give
they love
any
you just the
bullshit.
same.
You know,
right.
no, like but
right.
you made a mistake but that was a new mistake. So don't worry about that mistake because I probably won't make that one again. It's like no. My dog just says, "I love you," and then she doesn't care if I brush my teeth.
Right.
And she doesn't care if and I don't care if she leaves hair in my coffee cup. Okay, that's it. End of story.
Fair enough. It was a true family unit.
It was.
That's incredible.
It was. And they had a great time because especially when I was first booking all those shows, as an independent booker, I couldn't get shows every night.
Of course.
So we would blow in and do some shows in a town, and then go and do like family vacation like camping in the mountains.
Really?
In Arizona and like in these beautiful canyons in Utah. And
you're young and free.
Oh my God, it was amazing. And the dogs had the time of. I mean, they were well-traveled dogs, pissed on both sides of the Continental Divide.
Yeah.
I mean, swam in from Venice Beach all the way to Coney Island.
Nice. Now, when I would see y'all down in New Orleans, I felt like that was always kind of a home away from home for y'all. It seemed
Absolutely.
like that. I saw y'all play at Checkpoint Charlie's many a times over the course of quite a few years, I feel like. But it was always kind of a home away from home. How did that like come about, and what was the connection with you guys and going down there?
Oh my gosh! So we had been on a tour with a band called Zenny Gava.
Yeah.
That took us all the way from East Coast to West Coast to San Francisco was the ending date for them with us. Then we had to book our way back.
Okay.
So we did. And I don't know how we might have been on Snake Handler at that point.
Okay.
So they might have helped us book our way backs.
Nice.
Came back through the South, and we went to New Orleans and played at a place called Monaco Bob's.
Oh yeah,
doesn't
absolutely.
exist anymore. And we played with a band called Dulac Suede.
Of course, yeah, which would then become Spickle, which then you would play with.
Exactly. And it was just love at first sight. I mean, we just loved each other right away.
Yeah.
You know, like Brett, you know, I mean, geez, Brett Davis. It's like hilarious. I mean, I can't even do
hilarious.
it justice. Hilarious. Yeah, I can't even do it justice,
it's
honestly.
Yat. It's
you're right, it's Yat.
Super yatty.
Yeah, good ears.
Yeah. I have a buddy of mine, one of my dad's friends. He has his brother named Gary, and it's the same thing. It's my brother Gary.
Gary.
He's fucking hilarious. Like, he literally says that, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's, yeah. and Paul Webb. Paul Webb is like one of my Jesuses.
Yeah.
He's like pure of spirit, no matter what, and to the end of the whole universe.
For those of you listening to this who might not know who Paul Webb is, he's an amazing guitarist, multi-instrumentalist. But yeah, seeing him obviously in Spickle, owns his own music store in the Bywater.
Bywater music, yay, Paul Webb.
Yeah, yet another weird connection. In fact, last time I saw Paul was in New York, and he said that he had flown to Philly and played a show with y'all.
Yes, he played our CD release party. Was this
nice.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's fantastic. There's two guitars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was great. But he helped produce our last album.
Cool.
And that was the CD release party for that album.
Oh, amazing.
Journey to the Underworld.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
all these full circles with your life.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a strange world out here.
I have very strong personal magic.
Yeah,
I get everything I want.
Yeah, amazing. Drums. When did you start playing drums?
When I was 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did it start?
It started. My friends needed a rehearsal drummer.
Okay.
Their drummer was going to Italy to blow glass or something like this. And I was sort of hanging around the edges of this band, watching them play, and I was very interested in the contraption itself.
Yeah.
Like, I saw the drums up close for the first time, and I was like, this is a really, really interesting contraption. I was a classical pianist, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, wow.
I didn't. You know, this full body thing was a whole.
Yeah. Well, they're both considered percussion.
Well, they are percussion instruments, but one is like very keyed into the eye-hand coordination, for which we have extremely detailed maps in the brain.
Yeah.
I mean, the hand is extremely sensitive.
Oh yeah.
And it's got a very detailed map. Getting the larger muscles of the body,
right,
you know, to split themselves off from each other,
sure,
is it's almost like a yogic kind of thing to do, but you have to develop new neurology for it.
Right.
And also, like, our hands are more articulate.
Sure.
For longer. Like, we lay on our backs in our cribs.
Yeah.
We pick things up with our hands, and we can even pick something up with our fingers, hold it in the back of our hand, and then pick up the next thing.
Sure.
Before we can walk. So our
Right.
feet are literally running all our lives to catch up.
Yeah.
You know. So
yeah.
it's just a thing. You got to train yourself to do those new.
Right.
Engage
new muscle groups and engage new independence within the four limbs and all that stuff.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's exciting, and it was really, really intense, and like developing kinesthetic memory for me was just this incredibly cool feeling.
Right.
I always loved the feeling of it once I got started. Anyway.
So that's the thing. Once you got started, you were hooked because of the physical nature and the challenge of it.
Exactly.
The whole thing.
And the other reason that I was hooked was that the piano literature is a lot of solo stuff. You know, banging your head against the piano by yourself in a room somewhere.
I don't know that I have the patience for it myself.
And it was kind of a lonely sport.
Yeah.
So,
you wanted to play with other people.
Well, I didn't know I wanted to play with other people.
Until you
did. But when I sat down, I guess the first time I ever sat down, I had been sneaking around learning like a basic rock beat, and got the job for the rehearsal drummer, and sat down and kind of blew everybody away because they didn't know that I knew how to play a rock beat.
Right.
You know, like a rock beat. Wow. It's like, nice. The element of surprise really worked for me that day. But we played. I think we jammed on the song "Ocean" by the Velvet Underground.
Oh, cool.
And
not the Ocean from Led Zeppelin.
No,
not to be confused.
Not to be confused with the next rock beat I would have to learn in order to. But it was the most amazing experience. Like, it made music about person to person.
Right.
We were all talking at once, but we were all the center of the conversation,
Right.
and we were all still making sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was the experience.
It's magical.
It's totally ridiculous, and it's
Yeah.
awesome. And I was completely turned on, and
Yeah.
I still love the piano, but
I'm not coming from the same instrument as you did, but a similar sort of academic background, or at least in high school and middle school and all that shit, playing in concert band and jazz band and like, marching band even, and doing all that stuff, all this drum-related sort of academic stuff.
Nice.
Once I started working with other people and playing drums and creating new music and not having to reiterate some pre-existing, musical item or whatever, I was like, oh shit, that's clearly where it's at. So it was the same realization.
right.
Yeah, it's the way it goes. And I've been hooked. My dumbass is doing it 26 years later.
Right? We're lifers. Just face it.
Fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna stick it out as best as I can.
Right.
Do you sometimes get in the van with these guys and think, my God, I've been in the van with these guys, like collectively? Can you imagine how much time you spent in a van with the Papadopoulos Brothers?
All I can say is thank God for the dogs.
Yeah.
They kept us from many a fight, although we do fight a lot.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, my God, y'all have been together and spent a close proximity with each other for so many years.
Yes.
I would say that is inevitable.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you got two brothers, an older and a younger brother.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're in the middle.
I'm in the middle, and it's very clear sometimes. No one is fighting about the music anymore.
Right.
The brothers are fighting about who stole whose pencil in the 3rd grade, or who's the older one and who's the younger one.
Right.
Who's trying to make their their
So do you play
mark.
referee in that relationship at times and just tell them to shut up every now and again?
More recent years, yeah.
Yeah.
I get more. I don't know. I don't get involved and I don't get defensive as much.
Yeah.
And so I can be more kind of conciliatory.
Right, exactly.
But yeah.
Right on.
But I have my sticking points too.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. What's been going on outside of playing music?
Outside of playing music, I have been very happily ensconced in my little house, my little 2-story flat top house with my amazing husband.
Okay.
We ride bikes a lot. We garden a lot. We hang out. We watch football and baseball.
That's awesome. It's a good balance of like Earth Mother and Jock.
We go-
You're splitting the difference, the duality of. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good mix.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: touring, with all the touring that you've done previously, do you still enjoy it as much as you've gotten older? Because I never really enjoyed it that much to begin with, and
Oh,
I
really?
certainly enjoy it less now.
Yeah, I love to tour. I'm like the kid who loved summer camp.
Right.
Because you can really put out a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Or I can put a lot of energy into something if I can kind of see the end of the road. And for 5 weeks I can just jam super
zone.
hard, get in the zone, go for it.
Yeah.
Because I know that after 5 weeks I get to go home and sit on my couch and
Right.
hang out with my sweetie.
The light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. So I love that. So yeah, it makes me feel alive. I've always loved touring.
Awesome.
I've always loved touring, and I've always loved the way we've done it. Once we got booking agent, we played. They try to keep you playing every night,
Right,
so we didn't do
exactly.
as much family camping outing type of thing.
Yeah.
But we always had such good friends and made such good connections, and
Right.
got to sleep on the best people's floors. And
Absolutely. Roughing it and loving it. I think I got to make you a shirt. Roughing it and loving it. It's pretty awesome. Thanks for talking to me. It's been great catching up with you.
My pleasure,
I look
Jody.
forward to seeing you tonight for the 5,000th time over the course of 20 some odd years that I can't even quite figure out.
Awesome. So glad.
Right on. Thanks, Cheshire.
Cheers.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in for a quick little episode there. Would have loved to get some more questions in, but Mother Nature and the gig lineup wouldn't allow for it. Stinking Lizaveta's new record, Journey to the Underworld, is out, and I'll include a link to purchase if you're interested, so feel free to check that out. Go check out Stinking Lizaveta whenever they come through to a town near you. It's always a great time. Thanks, Cheshire. Thanks, Stinking Lizaveta. Catch y'all on the next one. Crash, bang, boom!